a few weeks ago. You guys might remember this. Cooking for Dad's host, Rob Barrett, was here, and he made this olive oil bread out of frozen olive oil. He said it was the best bread ever. I went home and actually made it a couple of weeks ago, and so good.
So good. But he was wrong, though. If you like that, you're going to love this. He's back. He's got the new best bread ever. It's Buttery Pull-apart bread.
Rob, what are you doing to me? You're killing me.
Not quite as beautiful as Nikki Taylor, but
or as nice.
Or as nice, but it comes with bread.
I do bring bread.
And Nikki Taylor was eyeing this bread because she said she's a cook too, so maybe she'll like this recipe.
Right. She can have a bread bowl if she wants.
Okay, Nikki, did you hear that?
Yes.
Good.
Okay, so what makes this one so much better than the other one? Is it just... It's, you know, things do get better with time. Records do get broken.
Right. We may be back in a couple months doing this again. Hopefully not. But I was trying to make a poor man's croissant bread where you'd have lots of layers. So if you look at this bread, as it ends up, you have lots of little tiny gooey layers that are really good.
Yeah.
And
you
see that right there. Okay.
And it just so the texture is great. The taste is great because the layers are separated by butter. So. You know, what's not to like.
Bring it on. So what do we do?
Anyways, and it's a very great dough because you can make bread bowls with it. It works great for breadsticks. You can do it all. So we're going to start, of course, by waking up our yeast.
Yep.
We have a ½ cup of warm water.
Yeah.
Put 1 spoonful of yeast in there.
1 spoon.
I forgot the alarm clock.
Right. I'm going to put a little sprinkle of sugar. Now, I did invent something. Normally, if you give that a little stir.
Because John forgot his alarm clock, so how do we wake up the yeast?
Right. Well, I invented something new called the yeast rouser.
Okay, here we
go.
go.
Rouser.
Yeah, so you would normally let this sit for 5 minutes until it gets foamy, but we're just going to wake up, say, yeast, wake up! There we go, come on.
Well, that'll do the trick.
Now we're ready to go.
Also good. It's also going to be good for your husband if he's a little late for work or something.
Yes. All right, this is a ½ cup of warm milk. We're going to put in 1 spoonful of salt, 2 spoonfuls of sugar, John.
Okay.
1 spoonful of salt, 2 spoonfuls of sugar, John.
And then
medicine's really going to go down now.
Yeah.
And then stir that up. Stir that up so that's nice and combined. John, add 2 spoonfuls.
One-liners today are just...
You're snapping them up.
It's Tuesday. It's early in the week. My best stuff is
One-liner Tuesday.
right now.
You're a zinger.
2 spoonfuls of olive oil in the 3 1/4 cups of flour.
Okay.
Bread flour.
John has poured way too much oil on things before on the show, so he's very hesitant right now.
There we go. There's 1.
Okay.
That's 1.
I call it a heaping spoonful.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, we only have a few minutes in this segment, so okay. Yep, good job.
Okay.
2. That was absolutely perfect. This is, of course, woken up now. It's nice and foamy like it should be. So we're going to pour that in. You're going to pour the milk and sugar and salt mixture in.
Yep.
We're going to stir that with a fork till it's combined.
With a fork. I've got a whisk that I really like to put to use. Get my maximum value out of it. But you say fork. Do you have to do it fork?
I like cooking with things that you have, you know, and so I use a spoonful of this.
Maybe I'm overstocked in the kitchen with utensils.
Pretty advanced, yeah.
So we're going to stir this until it's basically combined. We're going to then dump it out and knead it for 4 or 5 minutes. We're not going to do that now.
Yeah.
And then set it aside in a warm place, cover it and let it rise for about anywhere between 3 and up to 5 hours.
Yeah, see, this is what I like about this is on a Saturday you can just leave it and then run out and do your errands and do whatever.
Or go to work and you come back and it's going to look something like this.
Oh, nice.
So now if you move these, what we're going to do is you're going to roll this out.
Good job.
So take this and roll this out in as big a circle as you can and as thin as you can.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
This is what I'm doing.
Is that taking some work there?
This takes a lot of muscle. Fortunately, I have it.
That's right.
Here we go. Okay, rolling.
Work out's really been paying off.
Thanks. And so are we making the bread bowl or the bread sticks?
This is the bread. This is actually the bread.
Oh.
This is going to turn into our loaf.
Okay.
This is our buttery pull-apart loaf. So you're going to do that as thin as possible, probably a little bit thinner if we had more time.
Listen.
About a 1/4 inch. That is
I can only do what I can do here.
She's really working hard. She's exhausted. There's a chair over here.
I know, my face is getting red. I'm getting all stressed out.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Then we're going to put a thin layer of butter. And what this does is it separates out the layers.
Okay.
So we're just going to do a thin layer. Why don't you finish doing that?
Okay.
A little bit more butter.
Yep.
John, you sprinkle on a little bit of garlic salt.
I'm just putting a lot on there, but I'm
or a lot is good as well.
Oh, no, I'm not doing too much here. I'm not doing too much.
Good. Butter, garlic salt.
Right. And then I'm going to sprinkle on a little Parmesan cheese.
Oh.
What's interesting about the cheese is you don't really taste it as much as it helps the texture.
Okay.
It gets kind of
just kind of melts in there.
Right. Fancy. Okay, so then we're going to roll it up like this.
Ah.
As tightly as we can.
It's like a cinnamon roll kind of idea, but bread.
No cinnamon.
And no cinnamon. So really not really anything like a cinnamon roll, except for the fact that
if it was,
rolled.
we'd be cool with that.
Right, so we can take it like this. We're going to fold it into thirds, smash it down, and then kind of roll it out again.
And then that's your little loaf of bread.
And then it turns out into this.
Oh
right,
my
right there. So you get these
gosh.
nice layers.
Do you let this rise again, or do you just bake it right away?
If you really want to do it right, and you let it rise again, fold it over, mash it down again, and then cook it.
Yeah.
But this is fine just like this. I would try to get it a little bit longer.
I'm gonna try it. What is this you got here?
That is pesto.
Yeah,
Put a
let's
little
try
pesto?
this.
I'm gonna
Right.
dip it in the pesto while you tell us how you turned it into these.
All
two
right,
things.
we're gonna make bread bowls and bread sticks with the same dough. It's kind of a very useful dough. So we're gonna take out this one. This is already
Very
really
delicious.
Okay, that bread is
Already
delicious. That's really
Thank
good.
you.
We gotta go super speed on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, bread sticks. We're just gonna cut off a little bit like this, and we're gonna roll them between two hands.
Okay.
And that's all just like this. Boom, 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 boom.
Breadsticks pop out. And what if you want to make a bowl?
Right, if you want to make a bowl, same thing. We're gonna cut off a little bit bigger piece. We're gonna roll it
Okay.
thin
And then you have
round.
this really fancy little setup here. I love this. This is so interesting. A mug, and then you have nonstick foil here, right?
Right, so coffee, the tall coffee cup, if you will, with nonstick tin foil.
Yep.
And then drape it over the top like this, boom. Then brush it with a little egg, sprinkle on some Parmesan cheese, because that actually makes it crunchy.
And then you
And
bake
you bake it
it.
at 350 for about 17 minutes.
And you turn it into this delicious bowl.
Right.
Do you bake the mug too?
Yeah, the whole thing, just
The
like
whole
that.
thing can go in there.
Right, it's 350. It's these are ceramic mugs, so it's not a problem.
What else? Well, I guess people can figure out what they want to dip it into, but I like this pesto.
Pesto.
Yeah,
Really,
pesto.
putting it in the pesto with this bread,
Yeah.
it really is outstanding.
That
it
is
really
delicious.
is very, very good.
Okay,
so
Ron.
everything you've seen here, his claims, I'm not, we all like our favorite bread. I'm not going to say which one is my favorite or not.
Okay.
But I will say, you've got an argument here, man.
This is good stuff.
I have an argument, yes.
Okay, Rob has this recipe for this fun and tasty bread on our website. Go to KSTP.com and click on Twin Cities Live. You know what I'd like to hear from? Someone who makes this bread and also makes the frozen olive oil bread and lets me know if they think that which one is the better. That's your bread challenge, everybody.
I want more of this one.
Okay, more of this one. Coming up.
Good.